Okay, so now let's start with the new chapter, which name is overheads. Now understand what is this करके. Let's just understand one summary, then we'll proceed. यहाँ पे आते हैं. Then okay. Now, so when I talk about overheads, let's understand. Generally, people find this chapter difficult, so pay attention. But maybe it must be easy for you. If I just talk about any company, first of all, it wants to decide what its selling price. Tell me, selling price is dependent upon two factors. बोलो क्या क्या? Cost plus profit. It needs selling price per unit, so it wants profit per unit and cost per unit. When I talk about cost per unit, cost has two parts. One is variable cost and one is fixed cost. Do we incur variable cost on unit basis? Yes. So that is easy. But the problem arises with which cost? Fixed. Fixed cost is incurred where? How? It is in totality. Now the question arises, how you gonna recover this fixed cost from your customer? How you are going to recover this fixed cost from the customer? You have to estimate something, like you will say that my fixed cost is 100 rupees, or let us say 10,000 rupees, okay, and I am going to sell how many units? Let us say I am going to sell 5,000 units. That is what you have estimating on very first day, because selling price is decided when? First day, right? आपकी fees आपको कब बोली? First day पे, right? So to decide that selling price, you have two things. Now you will think as if 10,000 is the cost you pay as a rent. You want to recover this from 5,000 units. So from every units you gonna recover कितना? 2 rupees per unit. This rate is known as which rate? Absorption rate. And this 10,000 is known as budgeted overheads, and this is known as budgeted units. यहाँ पे चलो I said units करके, that is gonna be 2,000 units. समझ 5,000 units समझ में आता है? Now the question arises, sir, how to arrive at this 10,000? Let us understand. For that matter, what you gonna do on very first day? Very first day, your company will be divided into two parts. One will be known as which department? Production department. Another will be known as service department. Okay, let's say if I just talk about this again, there are two parts. One is your P1, one is your P2, one is your S1, one is your S2. One is your manufacturing department, the another one is your assembly department. Then there is a canteen and there is a hospital, let us say. Okay. So now whatever costs which are incurred in the organization, there are two steps. One is your primary distribution. If I just talk about primary distribution, it has two things. बोलो क्या क्या? Allocation and apportionment. Allocation and apportionment. Now sir, can you just explain the difference between two? Yes sir. The cost which is specifically allocable, like when I tell you doctor ka salary, where will it go? Hospital mate will go. If I say chef ka salary, to S1 mate will go. Production manager salary P1, assembly manager salary P2. So there is no problem with that. When I name my expense, you can locate the department that is known as allocation. But when I talk about this, let us say this entire premises, this factory, this entire land is there, on which there are these four departments which are there karke, and I pay the rent for this entire premises. Now in this case, when whatever rent I pay, if I have to divide that rent which is paid by company, now company wants to divide that rent between these four departments. Company has to take one suitable ratio. Bolo rent ke liye what will be the suitable ratio? Floor area, space occupied, we can say floor area. So maybe total area is like 10,000 square feet. Kitna who has occupied, you will just divide in that ratio. So that step is known as apportionment. Apportionment bole to cost will be given in totality, and that total cost you have to divide in suitable ratio. Acha, before that, one more thing which I have to add, if in the question direct material is given in the question and direct labor is given in the question, any direct cost, so khali kiska cost likhne ka? Service ka. Because when a canteen wala says that I am working, I am direct labor, but is he manufacturing pen? That is, a company is manufacturing pen, so he is cooking food, right? That is not a product of the company, so it is indirect only. Acha, if I say P1 wala worker, I am producing pen, so is this the product of the company? Yes. Hello, P1 wala, agar if I say P1 wala, so he says I am manufacturing pen, so is this product of the company? Yes, na? So it is actually direct labor. तो इट विल नॉट अपीयर इन विच स्टेटमेंट? ओवरहेड का. ऐसा कुछ समझता है क्या? ओके, सो व्हाट विल नॉट अपीयर? आपका ये वाला अपीयर नहीं होएगा. ओनली कौन सा वाला अपीयर होएगा? आपका S1 सर्विस डिपार्टमेंट का कॉस्ट, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट इन्वॉल्व इन व्हाट? प्रोडक्शन एक्टिविटी. तो एवरी कॉस्ट ऑफ सर्विस डिपार्टमेंट इज ओवरहेड एक्चुअली. क्लियर है? या Having done this, after doing primary distribution, guys, you're gonna get your total overheads. आपको क्या मिल जाएगा? आपका total overheads. Now this total overheads, now you're gonna start with another distribution which is also known as secondary distribution. Now you are doing this for the second time, so that is known as reapportionment. Ata, what is the meaning of reapportionment? I can simply say it is whatever cost we have got over here, this cost, this cost, this cost, this cost. My job is to transfer service department ka cost here. The job is to transfer service department ka cost where? Production department पे. याद आता है? Okay, so when you do this, now यहाँ पे you will subtract this from here, you will shift it here. You will subtract this from here, you will shift it here. After reapportionment, you will get budgeted overhead. You will get budgeted overhead, that is of P1 and P2, and this answer will be nil because that cost has been transferred. Hello, समझ में आता है? But when you transfer your product service department का cost to your production department, again there are three possibilities. Three methods are there. बोलो, if you remember the name, then I will explain. Direct method, step ladder method, then the reciprocal method. Acha, understand. If I say service department serves each other, S1 serves S2 and S2 serves S1, तो कौन सा? Reciprocal. One service department serves another service department but not vice versa. या फिर S1 S2 do not serve each other. It is which method? Direct. Direct बोले तो S1 का cost will directly go to P1 P2. S2 का cost will also go to किसको? P1 P2. But if it is a step ladder method, so what is recommended? See, it is there is a P1, P2, S1, S2. So who is providing service to whom? Let us say S1 is providing service to S2. So it is recommended you must be having all four ka cost. So it is like, let us take an example. This is 100. Acha, you have to start with which department? Department which provides service to maximum department. So which department is providing service to maximum department? S2. So let us say I will subtract this 100, then 50, 30, 20, because S1 is giving service to S2 but not a vice versa. So now what is the cost of S2? 220, its own cost plus the service which it has taken from S1. Hello. Now this 220 will be divided where? Only to P1, P2, because S2 is not serving S1. Hello. That is step ladder method. You should always better start with the department which serves maximum. So S1 was serving three departments, P1, P2 and S1. And S2 was serving only two departments, P1 and P2. So I started with maximum department wala. Clear? Now there is a reciprocal method. Sir, what is the reciprocal method? The scene is like this, that now there is going to be the issue. So what is the issue? So देखो इधर ऐसा होगा. The issue will be like this. Sir, यहाँ पे even S2 serves. Like S2 ka, if you subtract 220 now, so let us say that 50 comes here, sir, 60 comes here, and yeah. So let us say 110 comes where? S1. So again what will you do? S1 ka 110 you will subtract, and thoda idhar leke jayega, again some answer will come, right? You have to do up to how many cycles? 3. Once you do S1 and S2 ka, that is known as one cycle. And it is recommended जो आपका third cycle होता है S1 then S2 का, when you do, तो S2 का code you should transfer only to P1 and P2, then only entire can be transferred. Clear है? अच्छा, otherwise there is one more method. Let's see whether you remember this or not. Let us say there is a P1, there is a P2, and let's say next page I can just go. There is a P1, there is a P2, there is a S1, there is a S2. There is S1, there is a S2. Let us say 10%, 20%. Yeah, तो चलो let's say 50%, 30% and 20%, and then 30%, 40% and 30%. Okay, this is the question which is given. Now in the question it is given P1, P2, S1 and S2. This cost is 1000, this cost is 2000, this cost is 3000, this cost is 4000. Acha, what is the cost of S1? 3000? No. Cost of S1 is 3000 plus the service which it is taking from S2. Is it taking 4000 ka? Nahi. The reason, is it cost of S2 is 4000? No. The service which it is taking from S1. So I can do something like this कि S1 का cost कितना है? Total 3000. S2 का cost 4,000 plus S1 का cost is 3,000 plus service which it is taking from S2. अच्छा कितना 30-20. So S2 is providing some service here, some service here and some service here. It means S2 is providing कितना service 30%. तो उसका 4,000 whatever. It is not 4,000, it is 4,000 plus something. तो S2 का 30% बोले तो कितना हो जाएगा 0.3. ये याद है आपको? इधर कितना आएगा? I hope there won't be any confusion. S1 you gonna take this पहले 0.3 and then 0.2. Then you need to substitute ये S1 का value, hello, and then you will get the answer. I don't want answers, but you will get the answer. समझता? You will just put it as if this is 3,000 plus 0.3 S2 करके वैसे, and then you will solve this 0.2 bracket open and all करके. Okay? Now, so that is the third method. There is one more method. Generally not it is used. It is similar to आपका repeated distribution. Trial and error method. We did one question on that also. So under reciprocal method, how many options are there? 3. I can say simultaneous equation. Bolo. Second, repeated distribution or trial and error method. Yeah. You should get at the end budgeted overheads. Achha, whatever budgeted overheads you have got, this budgeted overheads should be divided by what? Budgeted level of activity. Bole to BLA, we can say in shortcut, that is budgeted level of activity. Do you remember this? So how many activities are there? 6. There are 3 steps of reapportionment and budgeted level of activity 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it is a single product company, company can simply divide budgeted overhead. 1 lakh hai, divided by I am going to produce 20,000 units. So 1 lakh divided by 20,000. Maybe company produces multiple products. So what it will decide? The product which has higher mehnat, apna hard work is there. More hours it takes, so more burden should go there. Hello, one product takes 1 hour, another product takes 5 hours. Overhead का burden should go higher कहाँ पे? 5 hours वाले में, because more efforts are required, more time is required. It must be having higher selling price also, so it should have a higher cost burden. Hello. So if I do that, please listen to this. Units method के बाद आपका कौन सा आ जाएगा? Labor hours method. That is budgeted overheads divided by budgeted labor hours. Then budgeted overheads divided by budgeted machine hours. Yeah, sometimes fixed overheads are dependent. Overheads are dependent upon what? Material cost. That is percentages of material cost, percentages of labor cost, percentages of prime cost. The formula is gonna be this in these 3 methods. That is, this will remain constant BOH. That it can be budgeted units, budgeted what? Labor hours divided by budgeted machine hours. But for this rest 3, budgeted material cost, budgeted labor cost, budgeted prime cost, but into what? 100 करके, so that you can get those percentages करके. Clear with this? Acha, having done this, what have you got after doing this is one thing which is known as absorption rate. So this is known as your absorption rate. Hello. This absorption rate is also known as which rate? Recovery rate. This is also known as application rate. Overheads are applied वगैरह, so we can say application rate. Okay. Clear with this? Achha, once you get your absorption rate, let us say like this, you thought your cost is going to be 1 lakh and you are going to produce 50,000 units. Simple. So I will produce 1 lakh. I want to recover this from 50,000 units. So every unit should give me kitna? 2 rupees. Okay, that is your, what is your absorption rate is, and into absorption rate आने के बाद into if I just do this, what is absorption rate के बाद आपका ये what is actual units you have sold. It is decided on very first day. As and when I sell 1 unit, I will recover. As and when I produce 1 unit, I will recover kitna? 2 rupees. Acha, I planned for how many units? 50. Is it necessary? Will you be able to sell 50,000? No. Let us say you could sell 45,000 units in the market. So what is the amount that you have recovered? These 2 rupees came here, huh? 2 rupees absorption. Then it is added plus profit selling price. So when you sell actually 1 unit, you get this selling price. And in selling price, you get 2 rupees for overhead. Clear hota hai aisa? So now, you get 45,000 units you have sold. What is the rent that you have recovered? 45,000 into 2. Kitna? This 90,000 is known as what? Absorbed overhead. Hello. Barabar? This absorbed overhead will be compared with which overhead? Actual overhead. Acha. If nothing is given in the question, whatever expense you have budgeted, you have incurred the same thing. If they give you different answer that I have spent 1,10,000, take 1,10,000. But if nothing is mentioned, then You thought of 1 lakh rupees, you must have spent kitna 1 lakh. If question does not say any deviation तो. So I'm assuming question did not say anything. तो कितना आ जाएगा आपका? या तो चलो, let us say there is 1,05,000. Let's keep 10,000. चलो अभी 1 lakh ही रखते हैं. So 1 lakh is your actual cost. तो 10,000 आ जाएगा आंसर. अच्छा, this 10,000 is over absorption or under absorption? Under absorption. Why? Because absorption wala amount is less. Now here what you can do is, generally if the amount is less, so we generally carry forward. If the amount is very less वगैरह, तो otherwise I can have two things. First of all, is it because of my mistake or it is because of genuine increase in cost? Hello. If it is because of my mistake, let us say out of 10,000, 60% belongs to my mistake. So out of 10,000, 6,000 will be transferred to, okay, and 4,000. You will increase your cost by 4,000. So how the data will be given? It will be given like this, that a quantity produced 6,000, उसमें से you sold कितना 4,000, तो closing stock में कितना आ जाएगा 2,000. At the end of 6,000 you produce, so you will incur cost for 6,000 or only 4,000? Entire 6,000, right? You produce 6,000. अच्छा, this is your finished goods का data. Then there will be some data for which WIP आपका closing WIP. Let us say there are 10,000 units, 1,000 units. चलो 10,000 units, and these are, let us say 60% का, let us say that 40% complete. Hello. तो equivalent output कितना आएगा? 10,000 units पे 40% work is done is equivalent to 4,000 units पूरा बनाया. Process costing equivalent output. Hello. So if I take the total, that comes to कितना? 10,000 units. Hello, total, right? And on this 10,000 I have recorded kitna cost? I have recorded this cost 90,000, but I have to record extra or kitna because increase in cost है 4,000. So I will record 4,000 here and you gonna cross multiply. Hello, याद आता है क्या? पक्का? You will get one supplementary rate. This is cost and these are units. So what you will do? 4,000 upon 10,000. Supplementary rate is kitna? 0.4. Hello. That is 4,000 you want to adjust on 10,000 units. Clear hai? So this is what we have done. So now what else is remaining? देखो इसमें. When you calculate this absorption rate of ₹2, now let us say company has two departments, A and B. So company can go for blanket rate method or departmental rate method. Okay. Like this. If I come here and if I explain, there is department A, there is department B, and there is the total. I said my total cost is 1 lakh. Okay. I said my total hours I am gonna work for 50,000. Then I got these two. But sir, there is a bifurcation. Let us say this is 60,000 and this is kitna aapka 40,000. Hours maybe we can do the division. Let's say this is 10,000 hours and this is how many hours? 40,000 hours, right? So idhar ka absorption rate kitna aata hai? 1. 40,000 is your cost for 40,000 units. Here your cost is 60,000. So 10 to 6. So one thing. Now let us say if I produce 1 unit, it will require some raw material also, it will require some labor also. Then it has to pass through department A and it has to pass through department B. Maybe it is a manufacturing department, it is a department, a manufacturing department, and it is which department? Service. So manufacturing and service department, if I just talk about, hello. Here it takes 4 hours, here it takes, let us say 3 hours. So generally what will you do? See the 7 into 2, that is in blanket rate. Hello. And when you say departmental rate, what into what? 4 into 1 and 3 into 6. Acha, which one will give you more precise answer? Departmental rate or blanket rate? Departmental rate will give you more specific answer, like departmental rate you are applying karke. So sometimes it will be given question mein that company applies blanket rate. Would you suggest any other method? So yes, we will suggest kaun sa method? Department. Now in this case, some data will be given. A is there, B is there, labor hours will be given, and which hours will be given? Machine hours. So how you will come to know that A is dependent upon machine hours or labor hours? You have to check. जिसका hours ज़्यादा होगा, let us say it is 1,000 and it is 10,000. So this A department is dependent upon what? So you will go for machine hour method. A का overheads you will calculate divided by budgeted machine hours. Hello. Then B ka overheads you will calculate. Let us say it is 10,000 or it is 500 machine hours. So kya you will say? Labor oriented hai, so you will divide it by labor hours and you will get the answers. Arey yaad aata hai ye cheez? So yeah, so I discussed this also. पहला तो reapportionment, there are three things. Then absorption rate निकालने के लिए there are three divisions we can possible. Units, machine hour, labor hour, percentages of material cost, percentages of labor cost, percentages of prime cost. Then whatever you answer you get, to get that answer again you have options. Either you can go blanket rate company wise or you can go department wise, but given a choice you should always go departmental wise, right? Okay, there is one more thing which I can say. Sometimes in other questions nothing will be mentioned, only what will be given, material cost will be given, labor cost will be given, overhead cost will be given for 1 year, and they will take for this product material is this much, labor is this much. Hello, can you get the overheads कैसे recover होगा based on percentages of labor hours? Hello, if question is silent, याद आता है? If question is silent, अभी we did 2-3 questions today only, so your overheads will be recovered based on labor cost. It will be like this, just in case if I want to give the example. Your material cost, labor cost, overhead cost, please pay attention. This is gonna be 1 lakh. Let us say this is gonna be 20,000. This is gonna be 10,000. This is for entire year. Now there is one product, I got demand for that product. Let us say उसके लिए material 100 का लगेगा, and worker को I have to pay 50 rupees. How much you will add as an overhead? 25 rupees, na? Because your overheads is 50% of this, right? 10,000 upon 20,000, overheads divided by labor cost into 150%. So again 50 का 50% बोले तो 25. If question is silent, overhead is recovered as a percentages of labor cost. Don't forget that. For selling and distribution as a percentage of COGS, that's not mentioned as a factory cost. We did that job costing and the question. Okay. So, इसमें there is one point to discuss. What's again this machine hours wala? So there are specific questions with reference to machine hours. If you remember, there is high possibility you can go wrong with this machine hours wala question. When you solve this question, you have to decide your window on very first day, whether you are thinking about one machine and 1 month or one machine and 1 year, whatever. And while writing every expense, you have to ask yourself, is it for one machine, is it for 1 year, or is it for 8 machines, whatever the requirement you have fit in. याद आता है? So yeah, that's it. I don't see overheads में anything else was there. I think that was the max thing which was there. Anything else you can just go through the pages in the questions. कुछ था क्या? बोलो जरा. नहीं, some then extra questions will be there. Otherwise, yeah, that was the thing, right? So that is the short revision, rapid revision of after overheads wala.